Some of you, along that process, and it's true of you, it's true of many. Esther experienced it too, especially in the beginning. You become so determined to be really good, deliberate creators that you sort of hold yourself back from the expansion that you're not up to speed with yet. You don't ask for all that you want. You just don't let yourself go there because you're guarded. You don't want that other shoe to drop. You don't want to come face to face with the realization that you've asked for something that you haven't allowed yourself to realize. So we began saying to you, you're never going to get it done. You're not ever going to get it done, so let that go. And you can't get it wrong, so be nicer to yourself along the way. But still, there's a sort of precision about you, a sort of guardedness about you, a sort of, I'm going to get this right, that doesn't allow you the adventurous version that you really want. The really adventurous version, because you're afraid of getting it wrong. And we want you to understand that you can't get it wrong. It will never be so wrong that you can't pull it back into alignment if you want to. And so when you say to us, and we hear it often from people, my life is going pretty well, we would rather hear you say, I am ravenous about this life. There's so much that I want, and I'm screwing up every time I turn around. There's so much that I want that I'm not allowing myself to have. And that's what you're reaching for. You're reaching for more aliveness. You're reaching for more enthusiasm for life. You want to allow more of the energy to flow, even if it risks you resisting some of the energy that's flowing. And so sometimes when that desire is strong within you and you have not even acknowledged it to yourself, something that indicates the resistance that you've got going on shows up in your experience and causes a faster development of desire, faster than ever before. This life is supposed to produce desire even if you haven't yet come to the place that you're allowing yourself to receive it fully. But we began almost every conversation as we start out in a day. You almost always, when we say, are you enjoying your desire? Because we want you to have desire that is rampant, that you aren't up to speed with, because it's so fun getting up to speed with the desires that you're not up to speed with. That is the zest of life that you're looking for. We're going to say it again. The zest that you're looking for is for your life to launch rockets that you're not in the vicinity of because it's so fun to get in the vicinity of it. Because everything is relative. It is so fun to move from not being in alignment to in alignment. That's fun. It's like, why do you go on the roller coaster? Why do you go up so you can go down? Why do you do that? Because you like the relational experience. You like the feelings of that. You get a sense of what we're talking about?
Yes.
So what you bring to this table, and it is a wonderful representation, and a lot of people are feeling it, is don't be afraid to get out there in the dynamics of this vibrational universe and let your desires soar far beyond your ability to own them. Because when you do come into ownership of those, how good it's going to feel. It's sort of like, do you remember those Thanksgivings when you were obligated to go to 3 or 4 different places at once? And by about the second or third Thanksgiving dinner, you wanted to die. Something that ordinarily would feel so wonderful was just not feeling so wonderful to you. You don't want to eat all your meals today. And you don't want to experience all the ideas that will flow to you in your whole lifetime today. You want them to just continue to come. So, yes, you said, I'm going to go put myself into a physical body on the leading edge of thought, and I'm going to mix it up enough that I launch plenty of rockets of desires. And in the early days of your life, you launched more rockets that you could ever begin to keep up with. And you did not like that discord, and so you've decided to not do that again. But the thing is, you can't ever do that again because you now know too much. You know about alignment, so you can let your desires soar. You can reach for things that you have not been allowing yourself to reach for. And that's what this tripping up has been about. You've been deliberately holding stuff back, and you cannot do it. When you try to hold something back that's natural, that it flows, it causes a stronger discord, and that's what that's all about. So our encouragement to you is to let yourself desire. So here, if you've got a desire and you are not allowing yourself to let it flow, the discord is uncomfortable, and then you pronounce yourself doing something wrong. So you've been attempting to do something that no one can do. You've been attempting to hold the desires back, which you can't do. We want you to encourage the desires. Does that make sense to you? Yes. What do you want? What do you want?
What do I want?
What do you want?
Well, I want to do everything. I want to go out and have everything I want. I want to have more abundance than anyone could ever have. I want to be able to do anything at the drop of...
I want abundance because, why?
It gives you the ability to do and have whatever you want.
And what do you want to do?
I want to go and travel the world.
And what do you want to have?
What I want to have? I want to have joy. That's what it's
about. But what do you want to have? You're talking about abundance. You don't buy...
I would love to make music. I would love to travel the world. I would love to be
And what's out there in the world that you want to see?
People and beautiful things and cultures and...
Different experiences.
Experiences, yes.
So that's the first time you've really gone there in a while. Because you're so practical. Because if you let yourself want something that you can't go do right now, it feels like failing. It feels like a pipe dream. And in an action world, we don't want you to go do things that you can't afford to do. But in a vibrational world, you are abundant. You get to think about those things that you want to do. You get to let your juices flow about that. Spend time letting yourself be in the receptive mode of the imagination of that, you see. We're happy to have this conversation. Because usually a conversation as we're visiting with our physical friends goes something like this. I have desires. I've got lots of desires, and there are things in my way from these. But you've taken it a step further, and a lot of you have. I have lots of desires, and I've got things in my way that keep me from it. And so I hold myself from thinking about desire, because when I turn my attention to my desire, my negative emotion, as I'm aware of the condition of it not having happened yet, flares up, and then I think I'm miscreating. Did you hear that? So now what we're saying to you is, I have desires that my vibration is not allowing me to manifest right now. But I've decided to approach this life unconditionally. So I don't need the condition of that desire right now to be happy. The thought of it feels good to me. I'm going to allow myself to think about it. I'm going to allow myself to find the feeling of it. The feeling of landing in a country that I haven't been in before, and looking out the window into the environment of it and getting my first glimpse of something that is new. And stepping off the airplane into the weather atmosphere and feeling the atmosphere, the earth atmosphere of this, feeling the temperature, feeling the humidity, smelling the fragrances, being there, getting a glimpse of the people, hearing their sound, feeling them. In other words, you don't have to go there physically in order to have that emotional experience. You see what we're getting at? And as you allow yourself that emotional experience, we're going to say it, we've just got to, that unconditional experience, because the condition didn't happen yet. You aren't on the airplane. You aren't on the airplane. You're not there smelling it with your nose. You're smelling it with your emotion. You have allowed the thought to manifest. So don't hold back from that. When we begin every gathering, we say to you, are you enjoying your desire? And you say, yeah, you do. You say, yeah. But you're usually not enjoying your desire. You don't really get what we mean, because what you mean is, I'm allowing myself to enjoy the desires that I'm letting myself have, because I'm keeping a close guard on not wanting more than I believe I can have, because it's torturous. And we just think that torturous contrast is so good for you, because you cannot hold desires back, and when you try, you introduce unnecessary resistance into your experience. And the reason that you hold your desires back is because you've been using feedback from others who don't believe in the process, who don't understand the process, who don't believe in themselves, and who don't believe in you as your feedback. So if you say to someone who hasn't traveled the world, who doesn't understand about vibrational currency, it's a vibrational currency that we want you to spend. We want you to discover the currency of vibration, the currency of letting the energy flow. We wanting to expand your sense of where you stand and who you are in this equation of creation. And we're wanting you to, all of you, to hear us when we say, you're not getting your fair share. You're holding yourself back from your fair share because you've got bogus beliefs and flawed premises that keep you from letting yourself have your fair share. So in that limited thinking, you don't let yourself want in the way that you naturally do, and you practice not letting yourself want with such deliberateness because you don't want to look bad. You don't want to be talking about stuff that you can't demonstrate right now. But we want you to be talking about stuff that you can't demonstrate because we want the unconditional pleasure of it to be what you're going for. We're out here on the leading edge, friends, way out here on the leading edge. As we visit with you, most people who come to us initially, they just want to figure out how to live a better life. They just want to figure out how to have more money and more friends and have nicer things in their life experience and to fulfill their reason for being. And it's a long list of things that you want. But few of you understand that the key to what you're looking for is a fast-moving vibration that you're up to speed with. That's really what you're looking for. If either of those elements is out of whack, if you don't allow a fast-moving vibration and you're not up to speed with it, you don't feel so good.